What's up, guys? Arm Centurion back with another video. Now, today we don't got our usual videos that I'm usually posting. Today we got some court rulings and updates on the California roster. And there's this YouTuber I've been watching for a little bit. His name is Copper Jacket. Um, if you're not tuned in yet, go ahead and subscribe and, what I'm saying, leave a like on his video. Show him some little bit of support. But he's going to dive in on the California roster. And basically, if you didn't know what the California roster is, I'm not too sure about it, but I know a little bit. Basically, like certain things you wouldn't be able to buy because you're not on that roster, or for example, I think like certain gen of Glocks Californians can't buy that, like, excuse me, us, like people in Georgia, that's where I be at. People in Georgia can get like Gen 5s, whatever the case may be. And you probably have to, like, I think in California you're gonna have to go through like this little process for your name to be like for you to be able to get it. You feel me? Which is very much unconstitutional. But I'm not too sure. Like I said, I'm not too sure on it. I just know a little bit about it, but he's gonna break it down for us. So let's get into the video.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So today I'm going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to start this video off with a poll. If you live in the state of California and you support the Second Amendment, I want you to leave a comment and tell me if there was one thing that you would like to see overturned first, what would it be? You can go ahead and pause it right here, leave your comment and come back. But I'm going to say a majority of the comments down below are going to say the California handgun roster. That is the one thing that I think most people want to see overturned and basically wiped off the map to begin with, because it is a massive infringement. Well, what if I told you that might now actually be happening? So let's get to it.
Like I said, go ahead and subscribe, Copper Jacket TV. Leave him a like.
Thank everybody very much for watching these videos. Trust me, I really do appreciate it.
But
if you haven't,
let's just skip right
into the video by explaining the roster and what it is and what it does, and some of the updates that have been made to the roster and so forth. But I don't think that's really all that necessary now that I think about it. I think that most people understand, if you live in California, what the roster is and what it does. Because if you've ever been into a shop and you notice that, hey, you can only get a Gen 3, but you were watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and these guys have Gen 5s. You ask the guy behind the counter, hey, can I get one of those Gen 5s? And they say no. You're probably going to ask why, and they're going to explain the roster to you. So I think that most people in that state know what the roster is. It is a massive pain, it is a massive infringement, and it limits what people in California can get for absolutely ridiculous reasons. I mean, there's really no difference between the models that are out there that exist, that are new, and, well, maybe even more safe than California would be.
And like I said, it's not necessarily about, I've been saying this for a long time. I've been telling my friends that it's not necessarily about gun control, like, peaceful, or we're looking for a better cause, we're trying to make everybody better, blah, 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 blah. It ain't true, because what sense does it make? You ban a gun, not even the brand of the gun. You ban the generation of the gun, but it's the same gun. So if a criminal had a Gen 5 or a Gen 3, he wouldn't be able to kill you? Or, like, I mean, I don't know. That's what's not making sense to me. Since this is reasonable gun control laws, reasonable, why do they have restrictions on people being able to get certain models of a gun, not the brand? If you're gonna say, okay, this gun, you can't get it, but you can get an older version of that gun. I don't know. It's not clicking in my head. I don't know if it's clicking in your head, but to me, it don't make any sense. It's just they're trying to take over and they're trying to force their agenda on everybody. It's about control. It's not even about gun control. It's about control. You feel me? But shit.
Safe. There's really nothing different between those and what's on the roster, other than the fact that this is a list that keeps you within a certain margin of something that's okay or not in order to defend yourself. It's just California's way of limiting your access. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. I don't think we need to go further into it than that. Now, this all revolves again around the NYSRPA v. Bruen case that the Supreme Court just decided. Now, that case, which to me is probably one of the most consequential cases that we've seen for our 2A rights in my lifetime. I mean, Heller was a very big one, absolutely. But to me, this one has more ramifications and implications on things across.
So basically, not sorry to pause it again. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not sorry because y'all can go watch the video. I already shot his channel out. If you don't want to watch my reaction, go over there. But I'm gonna say what I want to say. You feel me? So, back to what the Bruen case. Basically, what he's talking about is what does it stand for? New York Pistol Rifle Association or something like that. They ruled, the Supreme Court ruled in that case, the Bruen case, that people are allowed to carry guns outside their homes to defend themselves. So states like New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, all them states that like had the May issue, basically where you had to be qualified to be able to carry a gun, like New York, if you carried high amounts of cash, expensive jewelry, et cetera, like, or you're a celebrity, you feel me? They'll let you have a license to carry. So basically, it's in a sense like you have to plead to the government to let you defend yourself. But the Supreme Court found out that was unconstitutional, and on top of that, the justices, they gave their conclusion or summary about how cases like this should be treated. So, for example, they were talking about the two-step process. They can't have the two-step process anymore. It has to be solely textual, and what they've been doing in the Second Amendment these past hundreds of years or so, it has to be pertaining to that. They can't just, based off of their agenda or their emotions, just change laws. They got to go off of what the Second Amendment was doing back then to, make certain laws. But they don't do that. That's why this is very much unconstitutional, because this was never in the Constitution, or any fine print in the Constitution was never like that. They just made the roster just because, you feel me? So that's what he was talking about, if you didn't know. But yeah.
The country than even that did, because really what it does is it changed the way that the lower courts is even able to look at our rights and how they can apply things to our rights to make their judgments. So really, when we've had a problem on the circuit court level, it's because of how they look at things in context with our rights. The Supreme Court said, no, look, you guys can't do that anymore. Okay, you can't use these two-step approaches. You can't use.
That's what I was just saying, by the way.
In order to come up with your decision, you have to look at text and history and the Constitution. That's pretty much all that it boils down to.
I literally just said that.
More than that is basically the wrong decision. I mean, I'm trying to, basically break this down in a way that it's easiest to understand, but that's basically what the Supreme Court told the lower courts. You have to look at this as text and history, and not these two-steps approach that look at, political interests and stuff. That's not the way to go. So basically everything that was ruled on that could be an infringement in just about any state across this country, right, can now be re-entered into the courts, because the original two-step process that was used is null and void. And that comes down to the roster. The roster falls in that same case. So that there's now going to be a lawsuit that was originally thrown out, which is, I believe, Rena v. Bonta.
Yeah,
and
Bonta.
That's a case now that can go forward, because the previous decision that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals made on another case that involved the handgun roster is basically null and void, because they use the two-step process. So now this new case can go forward, which also involves any new updates to the law or to the roster or to things that affect the roster. This is a more all-encompassing case than the original one. So that can now go before the Ninth Circuit. And the Ninth Circuit can hear this new case based off of the new rules that they received from the Supreme Court, giving this case a huge chance for victory. That means that this case has a great chance of winning if they just look at what the Supreme Court said, which is history.
They're not going to do that.
No longer consider state interest or use the two-prong approach or anything like that. They have to use history and tradition when they come up with their decision. So the roster looks like it's going to be going back to the Ninth Circuit in a different case than original. So back to the Ninth Circuit for review again under these new rules, which means the handgun roster might get overturned. And I say might, but I'm actually pretty excited about it. Just like a lot of other infringements in the state of California or New Jersey or Illinois or Hawaii or New York, or any of these other states that have these ridiculous restrictions, and the lower court said that they're okay or they're safe or they're constitutional based off of
which is not true at all.
So,
God.
For those people out there that cannot stand the roster, right? And that's the one thing that they would choose to be overturned. It looks like your chance is finally here. So the FPC is actually leading this one in Rena v. Bonta. They're leading this one. They've done a great job in the past. Their lawyers are absolutely outstanding. They argue well. They get their cases. They're prepared when they go there. They speak really good and eloquently. So, I actually think that there is a good chance that the roster gets overturned. And I'm really excited to see this move forward. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the meantime, but still, I think there's a great chance for this to move forward. So we're going to keep an eye on Rena v. Bonta, and hopefully the roster gets overturned, just like everything else should be in California and elsewhere. So again, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.
All right, so basically, y'all heard the video. You feel me? They should be, it should, you feel me? But, this is all political times, and, things don't usually go how they're supposed to go because people want to be in their feelings. People don't want to use text or whatever the case may be or the rules to go by. They want to, what's going to get them elected, what's going to, do numbers, not what's going to be right. But, we got our the 2A community, as part of the 2A community. I got my hopes up for this, for Californians out there who want to purchase, whatever the case may be, because it's not fair. It's really not. It's not constitutional either, so we're going to look out for those and the dates to come. I'm going to keep y'all, in check, in tune with it. Like and subscribe to the video if you like this video, share the video. So, I could keep making these videos so people can, be educated and, and support. But that's all I got for y'all today. More videos to come, and I'll see y'all next time.